I turn you over to Superintendent Joseph D'Amico, who runs the New York State Police. Superintendent.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon. I'll give you the facts that I know, but I just caution that the shooting investigation into the apprehension of David Sweat is ongoing. So I'll give you whatever I do know, though. At about 3:20 today, Sergeant Jay Cook, who's assigned to Troop B, spent most of his career right here in SP Malone, a 21-year veteran, was on patrol. He was supervising perimeter posts up in the area in our continued ground search. As he was driving down the road, he spotted a male who was basically jogging up along the side of the road. He approached him, and as he exited the car, the male turned to him. He says, "Hey, come over here." The male kind of ignored him. He called out to him again, at which time the male turned around, kind of like, you know, "What do you want from me?" And he recognized him to be David Sweat. And at that time, Sweat turned and fled on foot with the sergeant in pursuit. At some point running across the field, he realized that Sweat was going to make it to a tree line and possibly could have disappeared, and he fired 2 shots from his service weapon, his handgun, hitting Sweat twice in the torso. Local EMS team responded and treated Sweat on the scene. He was airlifted to Alice Hyde Hospital, and he's in stable condition, and I would expect that he's going to be moved to one of the trauma centers for further treatment. We've been in the area, as I told you on Friday. We started up at the northern border near the Canadian border. This event took place about 1.5 miles from the Canadian border. Our concern was that they could have made it to the border, and we were pushing southward from the border. And I think that it was effective today, being in the right area. Where Sweat was, I can only assume he was going for the border, that he was that close. And we couldn't be happier that we were able to apprehend him and not lose him. It's been a long 3 weeks. We had done some investigation of the Matt shooting and found there was a camp that we located where we thought maybe they bed down up in the area of Route 41 in Malone. And we were able to obtain some DNA off discarded material there that came back to David Sweat. It was picnic-style pepper shakers, and we believe that possibly these 2 males were using pepper to throw the scent off for the dogs who were tracking them. And we did have difficulty tracking, so you know it was fairly effective in that respect. So I just want to echo the words of the governor, thank my law enforcement partners. Tremendous effort. You know, I've seen them out here over the last 3 weeks in the fields, 24 hours a day, in the rain, in the cold, in the swamps, in the woods. A tremendous effort by all of our partners in law enforcement. I also want to single out our on-scene commander, Major Charles Guest, who's been the face of the state police over the last 3 weeks. Tremendous leader. He has really done a phenomenal job over the last 3 weeks, leading our ground troops and coordinating with our BCI, our investigator sides. You know, we tracked down over 2,500 leads coming in from the community. We appreciate the partnership that we receive from all of the community members. It's a team effort. It's law enforcement and the community working together. I think that was effective here. Again, I said it the other day, I appreciate the support that everyone's shown us and the patience that they've had. Hopefully now everybody's life could get back to normal. But at this time, I guess we'd be willing to take questions.
Superintendent, Mr. Sweat was captured well north, it seems, of the search area, the heart of it. And I was told that you guys were hammering that area for the last day or two. So can you tell us what led you to suspect that he might be so far north?
Well, you know, at the time when we located Matt, we were already searching from basically the Canadian border southward. We had moved our deployment sometime around last Thursday. After the burglary, we figured we'd go further north and try to push down in the event they might be going for Canada. This was right in that search area. It was approximately 16 miles north of where Matt was shot and killed.
Superintendent, was Sweat armed, and with what? And are the nature of his injuries to the extent that he wouldn't be able to speak and talk with authorities? And has he said anything either to the officer, the sergeant, before getting shot and after, since being taken into custody?
Well, his injuries, he was shot twice in the torso, and he's considered in stable condition. He hasn't been interviewed by our investigators. Obviously, we're looking to interview him. There's a lot of blank spaces between the time they left Dannemora Prison 3 weeks ago and when they were apprehended, and we would like to fill in some of those spaces. And I'm guessing at some point, we'll be able to do some of that.
Was he standing and was he armed?
He wasn't armed at the time he was apprehended, no.
Superintendent, can you confirm that 3 team members saw him, had an interaction with him, called in a tip, and then that led to the sergeant finding him? Is that how that went down?
Not today. Today it was routine patrol by the sergeant who spotted him on the side of the road, and some good heads-up police work by the sergeant, very alert. He was by himself, supervising perimeter posts as a sergeant. He approached him. He did an excellent job. I think he did a very courageous and brave act of policing, and as the governor said, we've commended him, and I couldn't be prouder of him.
Superintendent, it's really has a 22-mile radius lockdown pretty tight yesterday. How did Sweat get so far from that area into Constable? How did he get up that way?
You've been around here for the last 3 weeks like we have. The terrain is so dense, you can't see 5 feet in front of you. So, I mean, if you stayed in the tree line, use something as a guide to whether it was a road or a rail bed or anything else, you could make your way. In this case, like I said, if you stayed in the tree line, you wouldn't have been able to see him from the road. So it's not impossible.
Were there standing orders to the 1,300 or so law enforcement here that if Sweat was spotted and he didn't surrender, to shoot him as opposed to letting him run away?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, our intention, as law enforcement, was to bring him in without having to use force. Sometimes, as in the case of Matt, where he was armed and he presented a threat, sometimes force is necessary. It's a dangerous job that our law enforcement officers do. And in the case today of Sweat, I mean, if Sweat made the tree line and would have been gone, who knows what kind of damage. It's kind of, I'm just thankful. 3 weeks, no innocent civilians, no innocent law enforcement were hurt.
Superintendent, is there any indication that they were together, close by each other at least Friday when Matt was shot, or did they split up at some point?
Well, obviously, since they escaped, there was a time when they were together and there was a time when they split apart. When was it? I couldn't say for sure, other than the fact that Sweat's DNA was recovered in the area of that County Route 41 burglary. So, it's due north from there. Very possible.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. One more round of applause for our partners who are all here and for the New York State Police. Thank you.